as I have. We'll set that up. Okay. So I have that running. What else do I need? Once I have that running, I'm set to go. I have all my recordings. I have another program called MSN Recorder Max that screencasts, records my screen, saves it locally. So in case something else doesn't work out, I have another backup version of my full screen. Because one of the things is, if you noticed, Zoom doesn't record itself. It doesn't record all of its controls. So sometimes you want to get something that will run on top of Zoom for recordings to see it. And that's what we'll have for next time. Okay, so any general questions that is pertinent to the class. I will stay after, as I always do, to answer personal questions. I will stop the recordings and answer any of your personal questions. But the first thing I want to make sure is that everybody is up and running, that everybody shows one of the requirements then, right, is everybody shows their camera, that they're in the center of their screen. We're recording, if you don't want to be recorded, what's the purpose that many of you want to do it is you can go back and review the recordings basically on Blackboard. Okay, so Jan, Kevin, and Christian, I don't have to say it, but you need to show your camera work. I don't need to be doing that. All right, and Sebastian, how's it going?
It's going good, Professor. How are you?
Okay, you were busy too. You were probably even more busy than me. This, especially on Tuesday. Can I say that? Tuesday and Wednesday? Is that right?
That's right.
That's right. So you know that Sebastian Hernandez, let me have you moderate the chat along with, in this case, Andrea, do you mind? And in this case, any other volunteer? Lily, you want to moderate the chat with Andrea? You mind?
Sure.
Sure, in the case that you've done it, and you can see what are the issues. Okay, so I'm going to give a short intro, and then I'm going to go into a lot of material today, but I want to make sure that everybody understands how this class is formatted. You had an assignment, right? We know that every week we do readings with Wiley. We do the adaptive assignments with Wiley. What else do? We do quizzes, right? That is done through the regular section of our class. And in this case, Lily, in the regular section of our class, what is your role? Lily?
You're the student.
Student. We have everybody that's a student. We have Sebastian, who is my teaching assistant. And then I have myself. They put it as the role of instructor. That's the highest in the hierarchy. And that is where you get all of your assignments. Everybody clear about that? But we set up another section called the audit section. And in that case, you're on a roll, Lily. What is your role?
You're like the instructor, or everyone's the instructor.
Well, you're not the instructor. You're what we call the teaching assistant. If we go to and you look at the users there, you will see that everyone in this class has been promoted to teaching assistants. I am still the instructor. Sebastian is still the teaching assistant. The only difference between teaching assistant and instructor is that all of you can delete everyone in the class, but you cannot delete me. You got it. So that's the only difference. The uploads, everything is the same, Lily. So the only thing is, I'm a full professor that I volunteered to be in this class, right? So I'm doing my commitments. You folks, you have a choice. You can drop the class, and some of you, if you're way behind and this is not the class you want to take, it is an opportunity to drop now, because if you think it is too much work, Lily, this is just a start, right? This is just the start in order for you to document all your issues, right? Because it's the idea. Later on, we'll try software that none of us have used before, right? And all of a sudden you have issues. And what do you want to do is you want to document. It is not, everybody hear that it is not acceptable just to say, I worked hard, I tried it, and I couldn't do it. That is not acceptable. That is the same thing as even saying, you know what, I'm not going to even do it. What is acceptable here is to do it correctly, or if you're having issues beyond the scope of your controls, is what do you want to do, Lily? You want to document it, right? That's the whole idea. Do you start knowing how to document it? Yes. And then you want to upload it. And what else is that you want to reach out and try to find a solution. If anybody says that technology is easy, no problem, I know one of two things. Either they're lying to me or they haven't had experience, because we are always going to face issues. And the question is how are we going to identify what the problem is and then seek a solution? We may not have the solution right away, but we have documented what is the problem, and we have documented how we decided to get a solution. Everybody with me? That's how this class goes. If you don't like it, that is fine. Other, classes want to. My thing also, even when I do my regular classes, what do I have you do then, Andrea? When I ask a question and everyone doesn't know the answer, other classes may say, you cannot use your phone, you cannot use the internet, you cannot use AI. What do I say, Andrea?
The opposite, search it up, find the answer.
Right. And then what we're doing in class is helping understand it. What is the relevance? Just to have it that, API stands for Application Program Interface is nice for some reasons, but we want to know, why are we using it? For instance, in Zoom, they have an application programming interface to what? To YouTube. So what does that mean? Why is that good? When you're in Zoom, Andrea, what can you do? You can live stream to YouTube without going out of Zoom, without having to physically post that, right? So these are kind of things that we're asking these questions of who cares, and who cares, especially, and we're in a business class. How is this going to make businesses grow? Right, Lily? How is this, if you're in investment banking, how are you going to get closer to your customer, to your clients? How are you going to get closer to your colleagues to find a solution? And we can think about it in any way we go. So everybody clear for me? And that is the area. So that's number one. Number two, if you're having issues, what I suggest is the first, after you've gone ahead, right, Andrea, and tried to find a solution in other ways, is then reach out to your group. Your group may have found issues, and when they find it, you want them to help you, just like Andrea, you want to help somebody, and when you get stuck, you can rely on your group to do it. Plus, in the audit area, what do? We have everyone's information that we can find out, hey, is there someone out there that can help us? We can check and see. For instance, we can do it in this case, like Thomas had really successfully done his assignment, is reach out and say, hey, Thomas, I'm not sure where I'm supposed to post this, or whatever issue you have. So you're free to do that. And what we expect is not take advantage of other people, but basically when they help you, I help them. So that is the key for what we're doing. And then the next step is I have teaching assistants. I have first of all, I have teaching assistant training. I have Andrea, who has basically volunteered to basically get the assignments earlier, see if there's issues. If any of you are interested, that you really like this or want to learn more about it, reach out to us and we'll have others. We've reached out to a few students. We'll see here if they've accepted that position. It's not a lot, but it's in a way in which they can be up to date on their assignments. And from those teaching assistants in training, I usually, for the next semester, if it works out, they can have paid jobs with me of being teaching assistants. That's what happened with Sebastian. So when Sebastian is promoted to teaching assistant, he can be an area which many of you reached out to him. And then one of the things that I want to make sure that everybody understands is when they reach out to him, that they don't take advantage. He is not the person to do your work. He is not the person at the last minute to help you. You get a week in advance to do these homework assignments. It's not the Tuesday before it's due. It's not the Wednesday morning that he needs to be looking at. He's more than gracious, Sebastian, and I appreciate that, but we have to find a way in which people have to be self-sufficient. If you decided not to do it and then all of a sudden say, hey, I didn't do it, I was too busy, this is not the class for you. This has to take priority for doing it. And we said that before, if you're not feeling well, one of the things is many of its time is contagious. We don't have the problem of being contagious. And you say, hey, I'm not looking that great today because I'm not feeling well. If you ask in advance, you can get permission not to show your face that day, only that day. If it's really bad, you can say, I don't want to be called on randomly that day. We all can have a bad day one time. Everybody understand this issue? And then we can get on to more important things that it is changing so much. So my contention, Gia, is that you can take everything that you do in the project, you can take it with you. You can have a portfolio of skills where you can take that with you. Besides that, when the due dates are done, that is the time that their due dates are available here. And why is Kevin, Jana, and Samuel, if you have some issues, put it in the chat to Sebastian why your cameras are not on. Okay, other questions that I need to deal with before we move on? Okay, nothing? And what about Andrea? Anything in the chat I need to address?
Something just popped up, actually, right this moment from Kevin, but that's it.
Okay. So in this case here, if you have issues, then you need to then also send a documentation. If you have a doctor's note or something, it's your responsibility before the class, not after the session, to say, I wasn't there, or whatever it was. Okay. All right. So I don't want to belabor this because we need a lot of time to go through a number of different things. Andrea and Lily, let me know if there's something that I need to address. I'll be happy to do it. And not everything is for everyone. As I said before, the trailer has expired. You know what I mean? You're in it, or you can gracefully leave, because you are responsible in your group to do also your work. We're going to have a group project where it's not enough that the group does it. Each individual has to show that they have fully participated. And if you don't fully participate, your grade will reflect that. Okay, so Sebastian, anything else I need to address?
No, I think you've done a good job.
Thank you. I appreciate it. And that's the thing. If I'm not clear, that's why I have the point of view of everyone else that we have. Okay, so let me share my screen. And we're ready to go off here. So I have a couple of, and you can see here, this is where I'm broadcasting here. I'm in the corner, and you can see here Ava, Lily, and so forth, and Andrea and everyone else is here. You can notice here in the corner what happened here. Andrea, you see in the power in the Zoom?
In which corner? I'm so sorry. Just on the
right
YouTube channel?
in the YouTube,
Oh,
right?
sorry. It says powered by Zoom.
Power, and what's above that?
The U or logo. Yeah.
Right. Why?
Because it's through your Zoom account is linked to your miami.edu email,
Right.
so
Am I
it's
the
broadcasting that.
administrator?
Yes.
No.
Oh wait, no, sorry. No.
I'm not the administrator. Excellent. It's
Of
like
the
if you
email.
understand, right? Right. I am not the administrator of zoom.miami.edu.
Mm-hmm.
I'm able to use it, and they allow certain you know, Lily, you like that AIQ? There's more of that AIQ, and the administration has blocked us from using it. I'm disappointed, Lily. They're telling me that I can have an exception, and because of my role at the university and being an advisor to them, they will bypass that, but I have to be on a separate server, they say, to find that solution. And guess what, Lily? I have enough problems. I don't need to be on a separate server that the university, can you imagine that the university is supervising? I have more trust in Zoom to do the administration than the university, right? They're not in the business to be controlling servers. So, but I'm just telling you that it's based, and what we're doing in those advanced settings are only done by paid accounts. So let's learn those paid accounts. So Lily, when you go work for an investment bank, they can afford getting an enterprise version of Zoom. And I tell you, probably 95% of those people don't know anything about what you're doing. So already you can make what? Contributions. And they say, what do you know about investment banking? Probably a lot less than somebody who's been 20 years in that business or 30 years, right? But you can say, hey, we can make we can be a brand through Zoom and do webinars and also do YouTube Live, right? So that's my key. So everybody, I want you to understand what is happening there. Okay, second. So one of the things here is you can see here at the end, we do attendance in the Zoom meetings. Always within the Zoom meetings, under cloud recordings, you have all the past recordings there. So when somebody says, I'm sick, Dr. Rush, can you manage to record the class? They don't have to be saying that. They know all the classes have been recorded. So these are the past. Today's class hasn't been finished yet, so it hasn't been updated. So that we talked about before. And then if we go back to it, we have always what's due. If you're confused, I don't know what's due. What do? You go to what's due in the regular section of what's due, and you will see in the what's due, we have today assignment 2, which is hardware. The hardware guides. This has to be done before class. Now it's the 29th. So before 3:30, you need to have done these assignments to get full credit. And after a while, if you do it too, if you don't have a valid excuse, you get no credit. So, and these are, you have it a week in advance. There are no big shakes to do. These are what you need to do on the quizzes as well. And then you have an audit assignment. When it says audit assignment, Ariel, where does it get uploaded?
Audit assignment gets uploaded into the audit course section.
Yes, simple, right? When you know it, it's easy, right, Ariel? So when you know it,
Yeah.
that other people have been emailing me, say, I don't know where I'm supposed to upload it, right? So that is simple. Then in the audit section, and you can see what is being done on the hardware part, what you needed to do on the advanced part, and then we can look at it next week on Wednesday before class. You have what, Ariel? You have another audit assignment. And that audit assignment, and in the numbering, it's an audit assignment 2, but it's advanced digital communication skills, and in parentheses, it says group. So this is the key here, that it says you'll have a group. So you need to work with this in your group. In this assignment, you have to review the assignment before you meet with your group so you know what to do. And you have to do the same thing as you did in an individual, but do more skills, Lily, than you did before. And then basically, but these other skills are important when it's a group. When it's individual, it makes no sense to be putting breakout rooms, right, Lily? There's nobody to break out but yourself, right? That's the group I like the best, right? So in that case, we have the audit assignments. The next one is Tech Guide 2, the software, Tech Guide 2 in the adaptive assignment, and the quizzes. So this is it. And in order to do, Ariel, the audit assignments here, right? I need to go to audit assignment instructions and I will see those assignments. I already see what was assigned here. And in this one is a second assignment for group advanced digital communication skills. And here, this assignment will help you become familiar with communication tools like Zoom and its many features, as well as more of the learning, the Blackboard, and you'll be also learning you will have one person in your group, when you record, go live to YouTube and explore advanced Zoom speaking. And then when you want to look at it, you can see here is the idea here. You'll be looking at it. Remember, this isn't a step-by-step and basically going to your school account. You'll have one member of your group create the Zoom meeting and you will have others participating and starting the group meeting. And of course, you'll be recording to the cloud. You'll be recording live. You'll have one person in the group that has an active YouTube account to work with this, and this meeting should be in a format of a tutorial for those who do not know how to use all these features in Zoom. So Lily, you could be giving it to the investment banking group and saying, hey, if you don't know how to do it, this is Lily, and you want to show your faces, right, in the side, right, to show, hey, it's Lily doing it, that Lily just didn't get it from YouTube, right, that you already can brand yourself, Lily, as basically communication skills for the investment banking community. You got it already. And even if they're not going to pay for you, you can already get a following. And once you get a following, you can get subscribers and you can get ads on investment banking. And you can only even not use one investment bank. You can have them compete against each other, how much they're going to give you, right? And then you can have them come talk to our students. We can give you internships. I can basically filter the best students to you. You can be a whole recruiting crew for investment bankers that you know, young, invested students ready to go, right? That know technology and are not afraid of AI will take their jobs, but will work along with AI to take away the tedious work that they all have to do. And we can concentrate on servicing our clients. How does that sound? Good commercial, right? We can make a commercial even out of it.
Very good.
Right? And you can even use AI to create your commercial, right? And generate it and teach them how to create the commercials, right? So that is the key of what I want to let you know. So that is the assignment. And then if I go to, at this point and look at it, you can see under assignment groups, group 0 example are myself, my teaching assistants. Daniel, who has been already a year with me, in this case was in your place exactly last year. He spent one semester as a teaching assistant in training. The second one, what did he become? He became a teaching assistant. And this semester, he's been promoted to lead teaching assistant. And Sebastian was with us last semester in your place then, Andrea, and is now the teaching assistant. And what they have done is they made their assignments that you could look at them as a copy of what should be done. So they have their Zoom individual assignment, right? Following their way to do it. And in the second one, they made another what to the left folder and putting a Zoom group assignment and having their Zoom cloud recording. Looks familiar, right? In this case, Ariel, doesn't it look familiar? Your YouTube live streaming link and what team members were present, right? So this is going to be key. It may be you have 4 team members and there are only 3 people that showed up for your Zoom group and showcase. What did they showcase? They showcase it how to do co-host promotion. What is the purpose of co-host promotion? Breakout rooms, how to do polls, how to do live transcription, how to do AI companion summary, how to do remote control. And in this case, if I look at remote control, what do you think that means in remote control, Allie? What do you think remote control means?
I think it means like being able to do stuff without like actually being at your computer, like from
Or maybe the opposite, Allie, is that if you're not clear in your group what to do, somebody can take over your computer and do it for you, or almost like be like tech support. Did you know you could do that in Zoom? So if you have that group in your meeting, you could take over. So do that. And also, again, get experience to live stream to YouTube. You'll use one person's live stream account. And then the takeaways and then the challenges. You'll have more challenges and solutions to describe. Here I would put also describe what I would even do of showcasing, of describing, even adding. They did a little bit of what's the importance of these, Allie. So who cares about being a co-host promotion? Who cares about breakout rooms? What is the advantage? What's going to be the advantage to do remote control as well? Talk about it and then make some certain chats in there. Okay, so if I look at these, I can see that in group 1, for instance, the Zoom individual assignment, and in the Zoom individual assignment, for instance, I have Thomas, and stay with me after class, Thomas, we need to discuss things, and you can see this, Ariel, he has it as the Zoom individual.mp4. I know MP4 is a file format, and he could have stored it anyways. He could have stored it on his OneDrive, or he could have stored it on his own computer. And then how did you do this? How did you get this attached, Thomas?
How did I attach the file?
Yeah.
So when I was creating an object under my folder, my group's folder, if you scroll down a little bit, there's like just any type of Blackboard submission, where you can attach a file, and it goes like, it's something like upload file, and you can do it locally. And I went under my BTE folder where I had originally put, my recording, and then just attached it.
Then you just attached it, right? And Zoom local recording is below your regular recording, your live stream. And then when I click on it, you should be able, and this is important, Ariel, is when you submit something, you just don't want to just wipe your hands and just say, hey, I'm finished. You want to check it. And then you want to ask other people in your group, can you check my assignment? Because guess what? What happens, Thomas, is sometimes that MP4 works because it's just on your computer. Do you understand? And it's not going to be part of Zoom. So you want to make sure that you could even ask somebody, open it up and make sure that it's working. And then we can basically, they don't have to look for a long period of time, but they need to see who can view it. You see here nicely, you have the transcript of what he's doing. I have places in which he's speaking. What I want, and ideally, is I want to have screen share too, that we can screen, not only just see his face all the time, but share the screen with what we have. So we want to make sure that we see that. And in this case, we can do both. So you want to make sure that you can do that. And if I look down, I have Valentina, who also has the MP4. She has the Zoom cloud recording. She has the YouTube live. So you want to just even check, open in a new tab. We'll check to see her YouTube. Right? And this is nice. Excellent, Valentina. You see how this is connected? She shows even how Zoom gets connected to YouTube, setting up, done, and reconnecting. That's beautiful. So she has that shown, and then she shows a lot of her screen work. Excellent, Valentina. So you see Valentina is excellent there. You see her lovely face, but why do I want your face there? It gains what, Valentina? It gains credibility. This is your video. We can see this gains it. And then she's able to show it. And notice when she shows it, the university, since the university is the administrator, they want to make sure that their logo is there. Later on, Lily, when you're investment banking, you'll have the investment bank have their logo there, right? But right now we're taking advantage of being at this institution, taking advantage of their facility, their enterprise subscription. We don't have rights to change it to our own logo. You see that? But excellent that she talks about it, but then she kind of views it that what we want to see is more and more, what I'd like to see is more and more of your screens. Okay? And we can see that she's done it about her challenges, about live stream, about unlisted. She learned great. And the account. And then we have Peyton that also has his accounts, his challenges that I needed to enable YouTube before sharing my screen. So I had to reverse the process. He talks about issues he had and how he did it. And then he basically has his bullet points of Zoom. So if I go back where I can go back to those individual assignments, I see that there's Michael who hasn't had it accepted. And then if I go to Briggs, just for an example, Zoom individual assignment, I have then a Jasper that we can see what is missing here. Right off the bat, Luca, when you look at this, what off the bat do you see is missing in Jasper's?
I don't know.
I don't know. Think about it. How many files were we supposed to have links?
Oh, 2, 3?
No. Did you do it, Jasper?
Yeah. The YouTube?
YouTube. Is it there?
No.
No. So he needs to put it in, right? You can do that. So I don't know. It's not enough, right? You want to think before you throw out, I don't know. Think about it and think about it. And you know what? You can even, it's open. So you can look at others. We just said that Thomas did a great job. You look at Thomas and see what's the difference between Thomas's and not. So if I look at it, I see already that we had issues before on that. And then in the assignment groups, we can see it. So it's the same thing. I'm just like picking up in this case, right? My Zoom individual assignments, I can see that Ariel, right? You have 3. And it took, and basically, Ariel, what did you say? It took 24 hours to improve my account. Additionally, I had 2 different meetings for my local cloud, resulting in 2 different files that had to be combined, issues that we have here. And then in Gia, what do we have here is we have 1 account, local recordings. Why in this case this looks like, I'm not sure what's happening here. And what about your Gia, what about your YouTube live?
I meant to put that under like struggles. I had difficulty.
Okay, so we want to do that.
YouTube.
So we want to have it look exactly like this. So Gia, you want to go back and say you want to have local Zoom link attached above, cloud Zoom link, YouTube link, showcase, AI, takeaways, and your challenges. You want to have it in that format. If you had problems with YouTube, you want to state it there, okay? So these are issues that I want everybody to look at. So it's the same thing. If I look at assignment groups again, I'm just doing it randomly here. If I look at group 4, right? I have Andrea here with the individual. She talks about the challenges. I have Henry here that I don't know what the issue. I have 1 Henry here and 1 Henry here. If you have 2 Henrys here, I don't need it. Right, Henry?
Yeah,
Why do you have 2?
delete the first one.
Can you delete the first one? Of course you can delete it. Better you delete it than somebody else deletes it, right, Henry? So you have here, you have the thing about my takeaways. Do you have the YouTube, Henry?
No, that's what I was emailing you about.
Right, I know. So what do we have to do? At least at this time, you put it in So you need to put that in again. And then I have Grant. And then I have Kevin. So we have it. So this is the, okay, so let me stop sharing. So what I'm going to do, Sebastian, for the class is what I'd like you to do is review what you've submitted. If you are welcome, if you think that you've done an excellent job, you don't want to make any changes to it, fine. If you think you can improve it by making it more of a tutorial, sharing your screen more often, I give you the opportunity to redo. Do not remove what you had previously, but add additional. So you can put additional recording. And you may even want to focus on a certain point. You can add then additional, now my YouTube was not working. Now as of January 29th, 10 p.m., this is my YouTube recording, and you may want to redo the entire part and do it better. So what I am doing for this assignment, since we had some issues, even though we mentioned, right, Lily, that you should do more than 24 hours in advance, and I want everyone to know how to do it the best they can, is I am extending the assignment to be due on Monday before class. Everybody hear that? Did you hear that, Henry?
Yeah.
What did you hear? Henry, what did you hear?
Hello. Sorry. Now, could you repeat that?
Now, you're right. So just don't say yeah to me, okay? So it's not a yeah place. This is a class. I know it's difficult. I know it's difficult in terms of being online. I don't want to be in this case. If you're online, you need to be in a quiet area. You need to be concentrating. I know it's difficult. So what did I ask in this case, Allie, to Henry? What did I make a note of?
You were saying that if we wanted to like improve the audit that we already submitted, if we wanted to add something or clarify or re-record, we could
Or
add
if
it
you
into
haven't done
our
the
audit
YouTube, especially the stream on the YouTube, I am giving you, when is it going to be due, Allie?
Monday before class.
Monday before class. You understand why that's important, Henry? To be able to do it. So we are just extending this and only this portion. And only this time that we're setting this up. So every time we're doing it, it's like agile development. Problems occur and then they will do it. So it's just the same thing for this next assignment. You need to be meeting with your group, hopefully today or tomorrow. Do you understand that, Henry? Because the next assignment is a group assignment. You need to read the assignment beforehand, know each of you knowing how to do that assignment, and then meet in a group and make a tutorial on how to do this using, Lily, each other's as basically playing a part. I can be a participant, Lily, you can be a host, you can promote me to a co-host. We can have Mark, if he were in the group, he can be, he can make up the poll. We can take the poll. We can see, does everybody take the poll? Can take the poll? Can co-hosts take the poll? All of these things show how it can be used. You understand that, Andrea? So this group, what you're going to need to do is you're going to be set up. So I'm going to even have 5 minutes where you're going to meet with your group because you're going to need to put up a folder. You're going to need to make sometimes to meet and then we'll meet back. But I just want to show how this is working. Some of you have really struggled with it and got it done. Others were, what can I say, a little bit in the dark. Hopefully you will see the light to be able to do that. Okay, Pavi, question. Did you get everything done?
Me?
Yes.
Yeah, I did.
Live stream everything.
Mhm.
So basically when you're in the group, then help each other to a point. If they're getting stuck on one little thing, I'm not sure how I'm supposed to do it, help them out because they're part of your group. But we expect, right, Pavi, that everybody will be prepared when you do that Zoom recording. Everybody has to take a part. You know, it's not enough that they show up to the Zoom recording and Pavi, you do all the work and they're just sitting there, you know, scrolling on their phone, you know, and then you're taking it. They'll be also evaluated on how much they participate. Pavi, if you're participating and they're just sitting there having fun, you know, then you'll be getting a different grade than they will. But it's a shame, right? Because it can really be fun. Why not give your wholehearted look to that? Okay. So in this case, when I'll be doing it, you can think about it. We also talked about last time, we talked about, you remember DeepSeek and others, and also in our course here, we talked about the idea that we talked about hardware, right? Today was hardware, and the question is who cares about hardware? But we need still basically that whole DeepSeek and why the market, NVIDIA lost billions and billions of dollars is because they're involved in major hardware components, and this is designed to the business strategy. And then you need to know about the business hierarchy as well. And you'll need to know then what is the difference between a central processing unit, a primary storage, secondary storage, inputs and outputs, and communication technologies. And basically the idea, those prices are reducing, you can see, and in some ways, what was so scary about that DeepSeek, Thomas, is what? Did you read about DeepSeek, Thomas?
Yeah, I know that they're pretty similar. Again, I don't know too much, but from what I know, that they're pretty similar to ChatGPT, and they cost a fraction of you know what it costs for OpenAI. So,
Right.
like we mentioned in our previous class, that caused the OpenAI or NVIDIA stock to crash.
Right, because what is NVIDIA doing? They're doing the hardware infrastructure because all of this AI requires a lot of computing power. And they were saying that it requires a lot of GPUs, graphical processing units. And they were saying, you know, we're going to have to build these big data farms, Thomas, for billions of dollars. And all of a sudden, this Chinese company says, listen, we can do it for a fraction of the cost and come up with the same results. They don't say what, Thomas, that maybe they trained on US OpenAI, right? And they trained on possibly Meta, right? And then they were able to do this. So we don't know. And one of the problems was our chips were basically our advanced chips, the things for NVIDIA, they were forbidden to export it to China. And all of a sudden they say, hey, do they have it or did they get around it or were they more innovative? So this is really going to be useful for us to consider on those input technologies of what we can do there that can happen. So we have something called a CPU, and we need to know what a CPU stands for. We have acronyms all around, right, Andrea? And a CPU stands for what?
Central
It's
processing unit.
Central Processing Unit. And I can put all of this, and we'll do an example of this. I can put all of this into AI. AI summarize it for me, right, Andrea? You can basically put all your PDFs and all the book parts and say, okay, give me a summary of the key components here and help me and even give me a podcast. We'll do that as one of our exercises. Wouldn't that be great? Take all my material, have it start helping you have a study partner. But the whole idea here is basically that's the brains of the computer, whether I talk about a laptop or I'm talking about high end. And one of the things that you'll see here when I have it, I have a control unit, I have an ALU, which stands for arithmetic logic unit. What does that mean? Adding, subtracting. What does logic mean? In this case, Mark, what is logic? Do you have any idea? when they call arithmetic, adding numbers, right?
Maybe like a logistical way of doing it.
Logic is whether it's true or false. So if I wanted to sort, right, I want to say, is 5 less than 6? Is that true or false, Mark?
5 is less than 6.
So is it true or false?
True.
True. So basically, the computer at this point, and some of the really low down things, it's how do they sort? It sorts by asking questions like that: less than, greater than, equal than. That's logic. So if I ask for you, you don't even think about it. If I had everybody score, right, in Excel, right, I'd say go ahead and sort it from the highest to the lowest grade, right, Mark? Or I would say go ahead and alphabetize it from A to Z. But here, the logic unit does that true and false. So you can think about logic as being true or false, and it'd be greater than or less than, right? Answering that question, and how the CPU works and its computer memory. So the key here, if I were doing it, that the CPU has what we call RAM. You need to know this for the test. You see that, Mark? You need to know this for the test, and that is called random access memory. I'm using PowerPoint right now. You see that? This PowerPoint was originally saved on my hard drive. You with me, Mark?
I am with you.
Good. And then whenever I want to use an application, that application or a copy of that application gets stored in my random access memory called RAM. So it takes it from my storage of my hard drive and makes a copy and puts it into my random access memory. My random access memory is very fast. And in this case, I have a control unit that's the flow of my data. I have my arithmetic and I have my data. So if I look basically at this slide, Mark, you with me? You're with me. Basically, you can put in your notes here. You see where this says primary storage, main memory. Another term for it is what, Mark? RAM, random access memory. So put in your notes there where you see primary storage, that's my random access memory. And my hard drive, Mark, is my secondary storage. So you see how it goes two ways? My secondary storage takes a copy of it and puts it in RAM or my main memory, and I can save it because sometimes if I make corrections to this, those corrections wouldn't be saved to it unless I save it to secondary storage. And then I have my input, and in this place here, I have my microprocessor where I have my control unit, my arithmetic logic unit, I have registers, I have my output and communication devices. So if I look at it, these are notice it says primary storage, that's my RAM. It goes and then computes it and then comes back to my main memory. And the Microsoft microprocessors keep on getting better. And guess what, Lily? You remember NVIDIA? NVIDIA is dealing with processors, and it's dealing with processors, specifically not even CPUs. It's what they call GPUs. So you can put in your notes. If we can put in your notes here, we need to know what CPU is. Right? We know that central processing unit. But we also have something called a GPU. So if I were going to ask you then, Lily, what a GPU is, you know right offhand, right? What you would be doing is you're just not going to wait for me and say, I don't know, right? Because, you know, we weren't born with this stuff, right, Gia? That if I'm asking Lily, you should be doing the same thing like Ariel, right? Ariel, what should you be looking up?
What should I be looking up?
Yeah, right now. What did I ask just now? I asked,
What is the Moore's Law? I think I
no, I'm asking right down here. You see my screen right here?
Oh, sorry.
Oh, good. No,
So
that's
look up
fine.
the GPU.
Look up GPU, and GPU stands for graphic. What? What does it stand for, Lily?
It stands. Oh, should
Go
I
ahead,
answer?
Ariel.
A
Perfect.
graphic processing unit.
Graphic processing unit. And there's even something called an NPU, and we'll look it up. And then the question is always what, Lily? What is it? And who cares?
Like NPU, like it's a neutral processing unit.
Neural.
Neural, sorry.
Neural
Neural.
processing unit. And who cares? And what business application does that have? These are always going to be those questions. So in this case, Ariel, do you want to make a point?
Yeah, I was just gonna answer the what is
Good.
it and
Great.
okay.
What is it?
It's specialized like a computer chip and it accelerates AI. So like if you
Which
want
one are you talking about?
Oh, sorry, the MPU.
And right.
So like ChatGPT, for example, that would be like a great addition to their resource to their website because it would accelerate the
Their
response time.
applications, right. Because what do you want to know? We have trillions of connections. NVIDIA, if you look for NVIDIA, you remember that is the stock that got so effective and was #1 in terms of its processing. And what did they sell? Look up NVIDIA and find out, Ariel, what do they sell? And Ariel Francis, look up NVIDIA and tell me, what do you think they sell? In terms of what do you think? What makes them such a valuable company? And what was it that the market reacted to so fervently that they got spooked? And there was like doomsday, my goodness.
They create GPUs.
They create GPUs, graphical processing units. So if I look at NVIDIA, right, and I look world leader in artificial intelligence computing, right, invents GPU and drives, advances in AI, HPC gaming, creative design, autonomous vehicles, robotics. It's like all the future. And all of a sudden that DeepSeek says, hey, we can do some things that they can't. So you can see here, what are they selling? Graphic cards to make it what? Faster and faster. And you can see when you even do that, DeepSeek panic, live updates, why NVIDIA stock is losing. So these are ways. And then when we talked about computer memory, this is the key. We have memory capacity, what they call primary storage and secondary storage. So one of the things that you want to be able to do for next time is find out in your computer of RAM how much do you have? Secondary storage, how much do you have? For next time that we meet, I'd like you to find out that I can ask you, Peyton, right away, how much RAM do you have on your computer that you're using now? How much secondary computer? And then what is the question you want to ask is who cares? Why do I care, Peyton, how much you have, or you care, the RAM and the processing? And then you can see there's computer memory that we have the capacity of going to. The smallest amounts are bits, which are just like 0 or 1. A byte is 8 characters, just like a character. And a kilobyte, megabyte, gigabyte, you can look those up where you have those that they're having. And then the idea of memory capacity, when I talk about AI, what am I talking about? I'm talking about huge amounts of memory that I have to be storing. So here's the primary memory, they call it main memory sometimes. And within main memory or in primary storage, we have something called the register memory, the cache memory, the random access memory, and the read-only memory. What do I want you to do then, Peyton, is look these up. You have it in your book. You have it in other ways. You can ask ChatGPT. You can ask Gemini. I don't care who you ask. But in order to find out what is the difference and who cares, right? And who cares that this is volatile and this read-only memory is going to be non-volatile, doesn't get erased.
Dr. Rush, sorry, I don't mean
Yes.
to interrupt.
Yeah.
A private message came through just to you. I don't really want to announce it, but there's a private message for you from a
Okay, we'll
student.
check it at
Sorry.
the end of
Okay.
the, so can you please just let someone know that to see me after class?
Yeah, that's kind of what it's regarding, but she
Yeah,
messaged me to
right.
tell you.
So,
Yeah.
no, just those types of things, just respond, telling anyone anything that's private, see me after class.
Okay,
I
understood.
appreciate it. You know what I mean? So this is the idea of what we need to do. So let me stop sharing. So what you need to do as a as a class is now you need to, in your groups, let me just do this. We're running out of a bit of time, but you can do this as your own, is have each group make a folder, just like group 0 for that second assignment, that group assignment, and set up a time with your group to meet earlier. What I'd like you to do is, it's extended your first one. What I would like you to do is even beforehand, it'd be even nice to have it done like the first round on Monday, and you can always improve it. Go ahead for Monday before class, finish up the first assignment, beef up those of you that have done a very good job. If you want it really to shine, you can basically add an additional one where you're sharing more of your screens. You can even shorten it maybe and say, here's my short tutorial that I've summarized. Others of you that, especially those of you had the YouTube live streaming, have an issue, you all should have that available to you. Make sure it's done. You can have the others in your group check to make sure that everything is done, and have already for next Wednesday, we'll have the second assignment due. The first assignment, as I said before, we're extending it to Monday just because we had some issues. So I'm doing one exception here, just to make sure that everybody's on board, everybody's working on that. Valentina, nice job on your presentation that you showed. If you want to look back on it and say, hey, can I make it even better? You're welcome to do it, but it was nice. You had your face there smiling, and we have Valentina's part here. And Lily and Andrea, thanks a lot for doing that. So Thomas, you have any points that people need to know about or comments?
Not really, just make sure that, you're screen sharing through the steps that need to be screen
Yeah,
shared.
so you understand. So it's great that
Right.
when you don't know it, you can take it, and that's what doesn't it write what you, a lot of times when you see tutorials, you want them short and sweet, right?
Right, right,
You don't want to go on and, you know, this is me, I'm doing this and I'm a business, nobody cares, you know what I mean? But I'm
right,
Thomas, I'm here,
right,
I know how to do it.
right,
And you can make almost your brand then, Thomas,
right,
right? Your
right,
YouTube can be your brand. And if you want later on, you can say, you know, for subscription VIPs can join me in Zoom and I'll answer direct questions.
right,
And those can follow me. You can have, you know, you just
right,
have a following. But that's what we're basically looking at. Whether I'm going to be
right,
doing data analytics or anything else, that all of you can have a brand and say, hey, I'm in marketing. I like to, this is my hobby that I wanted to produce. You can decide what you want to do.
right.
But we expect everybody, right, Thomas, to take their fair share. If they're having an issue, that's fine, but not waiting to the last minute and say, hey, I didn't understand what I'm supposed to do because I didn't pay attention. You know, we don't want that. You know, we can do something else, you know. I don't need to waste my time and they don't need to waste their time either. It's wasting both of our times there. But if you're really into it, this is what we're going to be doing each week. And why am I doing this? That later on, Andrea, when people are having issues, they can basically have their recording say, this is where I got stuck. And then guess what? They can send you, Andrea. Hey, Thomas can send to you. Hey, this is a little clip, even a minute clip. I can solve your problem, right? Or we can send it to someone that it's beyond our control. It's Zoom control, university's control. We just can't say it didn't work. We have to document why it didn't work. Why the setting, why we couldn't do cloud, why we couldn't do another one. Or we can say, hey, this is so important. Give my entire class permission, you know, to use all of AI. You know, there's a lot of other, Thomas, there's a lot of other AI that we couldn't turn on. That would be neat to see. Doesn't mean that we would be we could critique it. You know, AI has its disadvantages, but it certainly can help us. And then we can edit it. But even like we were saying, that summary was great. Give a little summary. You don't have to write up a summary. And think about marketing when you have to do even blogging or whatever you have to do, right? Postings. Let it come up and then you refine it. Don't waste time. Anything else? Andrea, what I need to do. Everybody clear on that? So everybody should really even now make one person, make a folder at least of that second assignment and then meet together. You can decide how you want to meet, but I don't need to see it that it's the last minute, you know? And then decide who has their Zoom working that wants to take on, you may be even deciding that, who wants to lead that first group. Everybody read through that assignment and then know how to do it and then meet as a group and show it as a tutorial. And each member, Thomas, in the group will be taking their share part of it. You may want to talk about it ahead of time and then record. You know, at least not start recording and then spending, 10 minutes figuring out how to do something. Nobody wants to see that. But later on, you can put that in the notes. This was an issue. We couldn't figure how to do remote control, but we figured it out. Got it? So I'm looking forward to what you guys have. I think this can be just a great class, in terms of everybody bringing what they have. And if you see different types, different activities that we can pursue, let me know. Okay, and thank you, Sebastian, for helping out everyone. Anything else comment you want to make, Sebastian, before we leave?
No, just please look over the assignment instructions. They should be pretty clear, but if you guys still have questions, just feel free to text me. Feel free to
Yeah.
text me.
Right. So free to text him, but like I said, I don't want abuse of my TA. I don't want anybody to abuse anybody, but especially I don't want, maybe abuse is a little bit strong, but I don't want to be taking advantage of you. You're also a student and you're also doing an internship and you also are doing quite a bit of time. So rest assured, but definitely Sebastian is more than willing to help you guys out. And I applaud him and thank you very much, Sebastian. All the credit. Okay. All right, let's just do attendance. I'll stay after class. Move this down. Just see here, this is my advance, this is my audit instructions. Let me do attendance. Coming up, let me do check-in. Start checking. 9880. 9880, if you want, put that in the chat for me, Sebastian, be so kind. And then people are welcome to leave. If you need to stay with me, please do that. So 9880 is the attendance. And stay with me. And otherwise,